FFImageLoading has been the go-to package for Xamarin and Xamarin Forms when you wanted to work with SVGs, error placeholders, all kinds of transformations. There is a lot of cool stuff in there. So a lot of people are blocked from moving to .NET MAUI because there is no replacement that works with .NET MAUI until now. Make sure that you catch all of this video because there is some important things to know here. Let's go check it out. With FFImageLoading, you could do all kinds of cool stuff with images. It would do caching, first and foremost. It would have amazing caching capabilities. You could specify the error placeholder and the loading placeholder. So whenever an image was still loading, you could show a little loading indicator in there. Whenever an image couldn't load because there was an error, it would show the error image. So you would always have kind of like a fallback image that you could show to your users. Other things include like SVG support, so rendering actual SVG images instead of what's happening right now with .NET MAUI, that we transform them into PNGs. So showing actual SVG images. Another thing is transformation. So you could do black and white, blurring, all kinds of crazy shapes and forms. And there is much more you could do with FFImageLoading. Now, this isn't really available for .NET MAUI yet. Until now, there is the FFImageLoadingCompat package. There is another alternative. I will get into that near the end of the video, so make sure that you stick around to see it all. But for this package, the FFImageLoadingCompat, I think the plan is not to support this any further, or well, support it, but not really maintain or really build upon that. This package has just been brought to you so that you can transition from your Xamarin and Xamarin Forms applications to .NET MAUI, so that you're not blocked on that, so that you can use this functionality in your app. But I don't think there is a plan to maintain this for a longer term or include new features. Just the only right amount of work has been done to make this compatible with .NET MAUI, so you can use it and transition your apps over before the end of life of Xamarin. So that is a good thing to keep in mind. You can use this, but if you are a new user looking for this functionality, then this might not be for you. So with that in mind, let's hop over to my screen and let's see what is good to know from a technical standpoint to implement this in your .NET MAUI project. Just a little bit of nostalgia here. Basically, this is the original package, FFImageLoading. You can see the last commit at the time of recording, and I don't think this will change, is October 2020. So that's been a long time. And Daniel Luberda, I don't know, it's Polish, so it's probably not English like I'm pronouncing it right now. And I think here, a little bit down to the bottom, Fabian Molinet, because he's from France. I can see that here now. And of course, all these other cool contributors right here. They've done an amazing job at making this work for Xamarin over the span of multiple years. And you can do all these crazy things. So here you can see a couple of screenshots with like the crazy shapes and all of that that's going on. And here you can see all the things that I mentioned and even much more, right? So you have even like retries and retry delay, and you can do all these kinds of crazy things. So this is a really powerful package. Now, from the Microsoft team, Jonathan has created this FFImageLoadingCompat. So now we have this package, and it very much looks like the old repository with like, what you have to do here, but the features are still kind of the same. Like I said, the only amount of work that went in here is to basically make this compatible with .NET 6, .NET 7, and therefore also with .NET MAUI, so that you can use it. But I don't think this is going to be maintained longer term. Added new functionality. I can't express that enough. So make sure that you only use this for your transition scenarios. Okay, so with this, let's go over to Visual Studio, and I already set up a file new .NET MAUI application, and I already installed the NuGet packages. But just to show you the right ones, let me do it again. Let's go into the Manage NuGet packages right here, and you can see the installed ones. And we have here the FFImageLoadingCompat SVG.MAUI. So I installed that one because I started out with wanting you to show the SVG stuff. But you can also search for like FFImageLoadingCompat, and you will find multiple, right? So you don't have to bring in everything. FFImageLoading Compat, there we go. And there's a couple, right? So depending on what you need, just take the right one and don't bring in the rest, but it will bring in all the dependencies that you need. So there's a couple here. Figure out which one is the right one for you. What I'm going to show you is all possible with just doing this svg.maui one. So maybe you want to do that one. The version is 0.1.1 at the time of recording. So there is that find that one at least to see all the things that you're seeing right here. Okay, whenever you have that installed, you want to go to your MAUI program, and you want to add this use FFImageLoading here to your app builder. That will bring in the using FFImageLoading MAUI right here. So we got that in place, and now all the renderers and the handlers and the mappers and everything's initialized, and you can start using this thing. Now, the cool thing is we can just do all of our things in XAML, and the FFImageLoading library works with a cached image. That's what the object is called, and it's drop-in compatible with a regular image from .NET MAUI, which means all the properties that overlap between an image and a cached image are named exactly the same. They behave the same. I'm not even sure. Maybe the cached image inherits from the image on .NET MAUI and Xamarin Forms before. So you can just basically replace image with cached image right here, and it should all still work. You will already benefit because it adds some extra caching capabilities to your image. So to do this, you can already see I have this custom XML namespace right here. So FF, just figure out the FFImageLoading or find it with the IntelliSense probably, or you can copy it from the sample repository that I linked in the video description down below. So you will have to do this XML NS FF and then this whole namespace thing right here, and you can start using that cached image. Now, I've got a couple. I also have the SVG cached image. So if you want to use SVGs, you have to use a specialized image source right here, or actually image element, which can be found in the SVG XML namespace right here. So that's a little bit different namespace that you have to link here. And then you can use the SVG cached image and suddenly use sources with the SVG in here. One thing that is good to know for the SVGs, namely, is that where to put them basically, because if you're going to put SVGs here in the images folder, then it's going to be transformed to PNGs, and you don't really have the SVG that's actually going to show. So you want to put this SVG, so you can see the sample SVG right here, under the raw folder. Now, whenever you're going to do this from Visual Studio, if you're going to add this, you might want to double check on your CSproj, so you can click that, or you can right click and do edit project file. And what you want to double check is that it didn't have any extra entries for the sample.svg. Visual Studio tries to do that sometimes, like with this one, you know, that's only necessary if you want to specify like extra options like this. But typically you should have enough with this, which is already the resources raw folder, which should just be included, and the raw resources right here. So it shouldn't have anything extra. If there is, maybe down here, then just remove that. Basically, it should just have only this, no extra things, and the SVG will be taken into your app, and you can use that with the actual SVG things that are here in this code. And you can see the error placeholder. So I have a little image for whenever an error occurs or whenever there is a loading placeholder. And here for the top one, we're going to see the error because this .NET bot not here doesn't exist, right? So we'll see we're linking an image that's not there, and we should see the error thing. The SVG should load the sample.svg, which comes from the original FFImageLoading repository. It's the Instagram logo, or at least from some point in time, I'm not sure if it's the latest one, but it's a form of the Instagram logo as an SVG, and we should see that loading right here. And we have here the extra, the actual .NET bot, which is included in the file new .NET MAUI template, and we'll see that, but we applied a little transformation here. Now again, the transforms live in a separate namespace, so to use it, we use this transform XML namespace, which you can find right here. So if I switch over here to Android, I actually tried it on Windows, and actually everything except the transformation worked on Windows. So I'm not sure if it was supposed to work on Windows or not. That might be a little work in progress. You can try to report it to the FFImageLoadingCompat repository. Obviously, I would hope the bugs will be fixed so that it's kind of like on par with whatever was in FFImageLoading Xamarin, but at least we will have all the stuff here for Android. So if I run this right now, you will see all the FFImageLoading things, but now running on .NET MAUI. So we have this error placeholder right here. If you looked really closely, let me see if I can do it again and bring up the emulator right here, then you can see that the loading loading placeholder comes by very quickly as well. So let's see if we can spot that here while the, yeah, loading, poop, poop, and there it loads the actual image. It's so fast. .NET MAUI, so fast. So here we have the image, the error placeholder that is showing up, the actual SVG. So this is this sample.svg and the little blurred .NET bot right here, which is all working out of the box whenever you do FFImageLoadingCompat. So this should not be blocking you anymore while moving from Xamarin to .NET MAUI, but there's more. There is more. So what I said, there might be another package that hopefully will see a little bit of more development and improvements and be compatible with MAUI, because there is another fork of this, or at least it took some code of this, which is the MMImageLoading now, and I think it stands for Mad MAUI Image Loading, because FF was for Fast and Furious Image Loading, so now we have Mad MAUI Image Loading, and this is forked for like well, it's forked before, but the last commit is from April 7, so it's a little bit more recent, and here it also takes the good stuff from what was there, but they have it for iOS and Android, and they're still working on Mac and Windows and Tizen, so they're looking for help to do that. So if this is something that you want to help maintain, then definitely go in here, open pull requests, maybe connect with the author and see if you can help out with this project and maintain it, because this is really powerful stuff, and it would be really great to have this inside of .NET MAUI and have it available there as well. Also, a Fast and Furious video on how to transition from Xamarin to .NET MAUI and not be blocked on this FFImageLoading package. Now you know the FFImageLoadingCompat package is here that you can use on your .NET MAUI project, and it will be working all the same. If you run into anything, please report it on the repository. Thank you so much again for watching one of my videos. Please click the like button, subscribe to the channel if you've been here for the first time and just watching this. Welcome, my friend. I'd love to have you with the rest of my subscribers, and I'll be seeing you for my next video. See you on the other side.